어떻게든 해보죠. 안 되죠. 이것마저도 피하시면 곤란한데요.
Hey everyone, this is Jake, and today we are going to be talking about very special awakening units, Arhat Shiyoon. He is one of the best looking awakening units in this game. He's fancy and he's very strong as well. And his story is also really good. So you're gonna have to read the story. I honestly advise you to read the story, don't skip it. If you already seen the translation, see it again. I read the story multiple times already. And every time I see it, yes, that one scene still gets me. But anyways, let's jump into video and talk about Awakened Shield. So let's quickly go through his skill kits and see how it really works. So first things first, he has the basic attack with the 2 ballot hits, which is pretty good. And his passive skill is where it comes really unique. Every time he lands 4 crit hits, he will be getting this buff. And this buff allows him to counter any basic attack that comes in. After performing counter hits, he cannot able to stack that buff again for next 4 seconds, kind of preventing him from infinitely doing passive counter attacks again. And his special skill works just like his SR version, that he's able to counter enemy skills other than their ultimate skill. Now the difference is that he is able to counter awakening unit skills as well, and much like his SR version, he is also able to stun enemies with this counter hits. And this skill decreases SHIYOON'S skill haste by 50% when it's triggered for 6 seconds, but don't worry because he'll be getting perfect evasion from that duration. So he gets lower skill haste, so it reduces the time for his ultimate skills as well as a special skill charging once again. But his passive skill, every time he triggers counter, it will be reducing cooldown time by 6 seconds for both of his skills. So it works very nicely. Every time he triggers his passive skill counter, he'll be getting less and less cooldown until the ultimate is used again. So it works really well, and if you decide to use a skill haste set, you'll be going pretty fast and trigger ultimate like in the first few seconds. So overall, he is very good units for any contents out there right now, and you can pretty much use him in most of the places, and he should perform very good, and you should have a lot of fun with him countering all these different attacks. So let's talk about SHIYOON'S gear setup. So this is probably going to be kind of longer than other usual thing because he could be really flexible with a lot of different gears. The first thing he has is the Maze cooldown set. That's going to be really good for PvE contents, and you should be able to just rush through a lot of different enemies, spam a lot of special skills and ultimate skill, and able to do the damage. So this is really good. The next set is attack speed sets, and I've been using this set for pretty much a long time because honestly, Maze cooldown set, other characters can use it better, and Awakened Shiyoon with attack speed set is very good as well. And honestly, I enjoy the setup much more. You can see him attack faster, of course, and you can see him countering pretty well. And combined with this new raid gear with the close range damage or any other useful options, yes, he can do a lot of damage each time he crits with his special skills as well as the ultimate skill. And trust me, it is very satisfying to use, and you don't really need a cooldown, especially in PvP contents, because the other character will be boosting your skill haste, and every time you trigger your counter attack with your passive skill, it will be reducing cooldown time for your special as well as ultimate skill. So at the end, you don't really feel like you really need the cooldown sets to boost up your skill haste that much. And sometimes if you're going to challenge enemies and your SHIYOON'S are melting too fast, then you always have a Gordius set options to go for. The one defensive gear probably better is the one that gives you close damage resistance, like a Gordius crown instead of movement. But movement set is also still very good because he'll be at the front taking damage from the ranged units. So with this setup, it'll be really good choice to go for and able to do a lot of damage as well as defending and countering enemies' attacks to make sure your allies are getting protected from the hits. And lastly, my favorite setup for PvP is this setup right here. Half maze, half Gordius crown. so it's able to get some skill haste, so it runs with the 72% skill haste, and he's able to get some nice close range damage resistance buff, so he is not totally squishy but able to tank decent rates and able to charge up his skill really fast to trigger the ultimate skills to disrupt enemy lines and do more things forward. It is very risky though. I wish I had a Gordius set with the skill haste for the weapon parts, then it would be probably more reliable and more tanky Shiyoon, but don't have that options. I just never been able to get the skill haste set for that. So maybe if I get the new inhibitor sets for this slots, I might consider changing that for this weapon slots for PvP. But other than that, as of right now, it is very good sets for me, and I use that in PvP a lot whenever I use them, and the result is pretty good. So that's pretty much about it. His basic skill kit is already crazy good, and you can pretty much use any gears on him, and you should be able to see him do a pretty good damage and able to counter a lot of hits to save your allies from enemies' attacks, and able to just do very good things throughout the whole content. So Awakened Shiyoon is definitely one of the best units if you want to use within PvE contents, because he is just so flexible. Minus the danger close content, he is pretty much good in everywhere. Shadow Hall, Raid, pretty much any other contents, he's able to counter their attacks, able to do a lot of damage, and able to survive for a very long time. And the counter mechanic is also very important in challenging contents, because he's able to counter the hits and protecting allies behind it. So he's not only offensive, but he's also very defensive. So he gets both of those, and that makes him just crazy good. And in fact, whenever he counters or he attacks, it is very fancy, and I really enjoy seeing how he do things with his skills and his swords. But you probably see me use him quite a lot, and honestly, he's definitely one of the best character and most fun character to use within the Gauntlet as well as PvE contents. And I just love him just going rushing through enemies and clearing a map within, like, I don't know, 40 seconds or so, and seeing him DPS on top of the charts and just destroying every unit. Now lastly is the PvP content, and I thought he was a little bit underwhelming at the start. Then I started giving him more right gears. Then after I had a right gears, I started to feel like he is very good units, and he's very good rush type character as well. The thing is, you really need very good gears on him to be very good performance within Gauntlet. First thing is, he's a striker unit as well as a close range unit, and there's this thing called the Serena Crew Operator. So if you're a meta player for the PvP, you probably already have it, and you just need level 1. That's more than enough to melt a lot of characters when you trigger it. And Awakened Shiyoon especially is very weak against the Serena Crew, much like other character, but his survivability kind of depends on a lot of the buff he has, like perfect evasion and such. So once his buffs drip off and he's naked, then sniper hits comes, or even ranger or whatever, he will die pretty quickly. So Awakened Shiyoon, I think, is not the best pick for PvP, but he is definitely really good when you have the right gear. Then once you start to rushing in enemies to counter it, just be fancy and just destroy the ship. The Detroit Shiyoon is monster, and you can use with any other ship as well, Blue Ridge, name it, any other ships, and you should be able to perform pretty good. New Detroit Awakened Shiyoon Rush deck is pretty fun. He's very expensive units, his 6 costs, and like I said, he might be not that tanky compared to some of the other Awakening units. And he's definitely not the most OP character out there. And honestly, it's really hard to have a character that's both good in PvE and PvP. And Shiyoon has managed to do that. He's definitely one of the best characters in this game. And I think you guys will probably agree. Just pull him, you will never regret him. He's definitely one of the characters that you need to have if you plan to play counter side. Well, anyways, that is pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's Jake. I will see you guys next time. And enjoy the episode 7. This pretty amazing story. I had a lot of fun translating. Hope you guys enjoy the story now, if you've been waiting until this time. And I will try to upload the episode 8 soon as possible, so you can enjoy the continuous story stream instead of waiting for a few months. But anyways, I'm done talking. This is Jake. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.